Hi everyone, it's John from WhatUp. Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking Wheel of Time Season 3 news. Specifically, the showrunner Rafe Judkins had said a couple of things about the Season 3 opener, and he called it bonkers. So yeah, I want to dive into that, and I don't think it's what everyone thinks it's going to be, but we'll get into that in a few moments. Now, WoTSeries.com also graced us with 4 more castings. Yes, we have some more castings for Season 3. I want to dive into those today as well. We'll see if we can figure out who these characters are and what they're playing. And we're going to do all of this with a healthy dose of speculation. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time all of the time. That is pretty much all we talk about. If you like that sort of thing, of course, click the subscribe button, tell a few of your friends, and spread the word of WhatUp around if you could. Now, since we're talking Season 3, I'm going to spoil some stuff, so spoiler warning. If you have not read the first 4 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World Through the Shadow Rising, or if you have not seen the show, that's the first 2 seasons of the Wheel of Time, streaming right now on Prime Video. Be forewarned, I may ruin plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. Alright folks, we're talking the opener for Season 3 of the Wheel of Time, and what Rafe Judkins has said about it. So first off, he's seen it, which is a good thing. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. But he said it was bonkers, and it was a bunch of women in the 40s and 50s just shredding each other. So let's unpack this. It's enough that Deadline, Variety, CBR, a bunch of different places have ran with this in articles, and they've done some speculation in their articles on what it could mean, but they're at a disadvantage to people like me because they don't talk about rumors. They only talk about facts and things they actually know, so it's hard for them to speculate because we have way more information at our disposal than they do. But if you want to read what they said, the articles are down below in the description box, but it won't cover anything that we're not going to talk about in today's video, nor will it expand upon anything we're talking about. But they are there if you folks want to read them. So what does this mean to us? I think your mind, or some of the fandom's mind at least, probably went to the same spot that mine went immediately and said Tower Coup. So let's put that on the list. Could possibly be the Tower Coup. Could also possibly be a bunch of wise ones fighting each other. Let's put that on the list. I think that's possible because we're going to want to be introduced to the Aiel. We're going to want to be introduced to the Shaido and the other Aiel kind of at odds with one another at one point or another. I think that's likely as well. So that could be there. It could also be, and this is my favorite theory, the Dark Friends fleeing the tower or being found out. So the Black Aja actually being found out and fighting in the tower, or escaping, kind of fighting other Aes Sedai. So let's put that on the list as well. There are a number of other possibilities, but those are the 3 I like the best. So let's kind of walk through them. Now, as far as a Tower Coup goes, I think we're going to see one. In fact, I'm almost sure we're going to see one for Season 3, but I don't think it'll be the opening minutes of the season. I don't think that's very likely. For a couple of different reasons. In the book series, Elaida Sedai was really set up from pretty much the first time she was on page to take over as Amyrlin and kind of do the Tower Coup. It was done, a lot of it off page, a lot of it wasn't so much in your face, but it was there and there was set up for it. So in the books, if you haven't read them and you kind of ignore the spoiler warning, Elaida Sedai, who is a Red Sister and an advisor to Queen Morghese, was suspicious of Swan and her dealings with the dragon because she kind of found out about these things and formulated and kind of masterminded a coup against her and removed her as Amyrlin and kind of instilled herself as Amyrlin. So she was Amyrlin for a good portion of the book series afterwards. And it set up a bunch of other really big important storylines. So I don't think they're going to mess with that. I think we're still going to see a Tower Coup. I think we'll still see Elaida as Amyrlin. Some of the fan sites, and in fact some of the big sites, have suggested that perhaps Liandrin will fill in that spot. I don't think that's going to happen. For a bunch of different reasons, because she's very obviously Black Aja. And that's going to be, I think, a known in the next season. And Shohreh Aghdashloo is going to play Elaida, and Shohreh's a big name, and you want her as a staple carrying forward, especially if there's a chance we lose Rosamund Pike over the next season or 2. We're going to want another big name in there, and Shohreh will be that name, I think. So I think the Tower Coup is still going to happen. I think Elaida is still going to take over from Swan. I don't think it's happening in the first 15 minutes, and I also don't think it's going to be a big battle. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it'll be more along the lines of political maneuvering, more along the lines of things in the Hall of the Tower, kind of backdoor deals and things that are being made. And I think that we'll see her being deposed. It won't happen off page like it did in the books. And I think you'll see the Hall doing that. And I think you'll see Elaida being instilled as Amyrlin. So this is all kind of, I think, setting up for mid-season. That's my guess anyway, because we know that Shohreh had filmed scenes in an Andoran setting in the first few months of filming for season 3. So likelihood of her being in the Andorran throne room was pretty high at some point or another with Morghese, because there were Andorran banners on set while she was there. So she's probably starting in Andor, we're probably seeing her there, and then she'll probably go to the tower, find out all of this all these terrible things that have happened, and lay blame on everything on Swan, and that'll start the coup process. We'll likely see the coup, I think, somewhere mid-season. It's my guess anyway. I have no information to back that up, but I like the way that that works. That also leads credence to my second theory, the one that I like the best, is that the women in their 40s and 50s just shredding each other is likely the Black Aja fleeing the tower. So after the defeat in Falme and after the events in Cairhien, I think you're going to see the Black Aja sort of, like they did in the books, not quite come out in the open, but they're going to be more well known, and I think they're going to flee the tower. Now, they did flee the tower in the books, but it was sort of a quiet filtering out. I think this is going to be them actually hightailing it out of the tower. There may actually be some battles back and forth, and it'd be a really good way of opening the season and causing a rift between the forces of light and the dark, because although the audience knows about the Black Aja, the audience knows about the Aes Sedai, and they kind of know the inner workings of the Aes Sedai and the Black Aja and how that all kind of fits together, they're not really read in on a lot of the history and the lore and the whys. I think having them leave and having sisters try to stop them and use the power against them because they are dark friends, in a battle against their lives and then escaping the tower is not only an exciting way to open the season, it's a good way to shovel just one more failure in Swan's pile, for Elaida to use against her. It's a good way for other Aes Sedai that are out in the world to be recalled to the tower, like Elaida, because a bunch of this stuff is happening. It's a good way to cause a rift immediately. So later on, when the tower splits and we see the rebel Aes Sedai leave, it won't be as big a shock to the audience because there's already a rift with Black Aja leaving. It also gives a very good reason for certain people to go to Tenchiko to chase the Black Aja, like Elaine and Nynaeve. I think they do get sent there by Swan. I think they're going to end up back in the tower, and they're going to be sent on their way after this rift happens, to sort of chase them down, like they did in the books, only in a roundabout fashion. The show likes to take things that happen in the books and change them a fair bit. I think that's how they'll do that this way. And Elaida will also use that, the fact that Swan sent Elaine after the Black Aja to Tenchiko as another kind of a notch on the big grievance pole that she's going to use to remove Swan from or depose her as Amberlin. So the coup is going to happen. I think it'll be a bloodless coup, and I think the battle is more going to be the Black Aja fleeing the tower. The last thing I mentioned that could possibly would be the Wise Ones. So we haven't really seen the Aiel very much yet. We have been introduced to Maidens and Spears. We've seen Aviendha, Bane, and Chiad. They were introduced in season 2. We've seen a dead Aiel in season 1. We've heard a little bit about them here and there, but we don't know a ton about them. I think another great way to open up season 3 would be to have a battle between Aiel. They fight each other all the time. Now, Wise Ones don't really take part in battles. That's just not something that they do. But that doesn't mean the show won't change that. They've already changed a ton of other things, so it's entirely possible that happens. Or it could be maybe the spear fighting. But either way, this could be a battle between Aiel and someone else, or Aiel and Aiel. Because remember, we got to introduce the Shaido in season 3. We got to introduce Savannah. We got to introduce Couladin. That all kind of has to happen for season 3. And that's going to tie into some other videos I'm going to do later this week, talking about how that may tie in season. So I think that's the least likely of my three theories. I think the most likely is the Black Aja fleeing the tower. The second most likely will be a tower coup, but it's too early in the season for that. I think there's no time to set anything up. The third most likely, I think, will be the Aiel. And then a distant fourth will be the Shan-Chan. Very distant fourth. I don't think we're going to see many battles between the Shan-Chan for this season. Just because they were so much to the forefront of season 2. We're going to start seeing other people introduced. Either way, let me know in the comments down below what you folks think, what he meant by that quote. Because the opener is done. Before I move on to the castings from WoTSeries, I do want to talk just a bit about that. The fact that it's done does give me some little bit of hope that we'll see some teasers or something this year. But it's a very small amount of hope. So Amazon has pretty much all but said we're not getting the Wheel of Time until next fall. it's happened here on the channel. People have slipped their tongue when I've interviewed them. People had little slips of the tongue here and there in other interviews, kind of saying that we won't get Wheel of Time until next fall. My own sources are telling me that it's pretty likely that next fall is ideal, because Amazon wants to leapfrog Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings, kind of one franchise per year. And if we look at the timeline between season 1 and season 2, it's going to be a similar sort of timeline if we get it next September-ish. So I don't think we're going to get much promotional material this year. So, but there's a small hope that some of the videos are already done, because Rafe Judkins has seen it, that we may see something at a con. Now, Jordan Con, nothing happened there. So I don't believe we'll get anything at WotCon, which happens in July. Maybe San Diego Comic-Con. They usually like to have a big presence there. It's possible, especially considering the fact they didn't do a lot of marketing for season 2 with the actors and the production teams because of the strikes. Maybe they'll start ramping that up early. But either way, I think before the end of the year, we'll see something at the very least in video form before season 3 to kind of hype things up. Maybe a very short teaser trailer of 30 seconds or something. But I think they kind of have to at this point. They're doing 2 years between seasons. They got to start marketing earlier. And let's face it, the Wheel of Time has not been marketed properly in any way, shape, or form from its inception. Like, the marketing teams have dropped the ball hardcore for Wheel of Time. Kind of hoping they'll start to fix that for the next season. All right, so now we're going to dive into the forecastings of WoTSeries.com. Recently uncovered. Their article is listed down below in the description box. Please click on it. Please go over there, bookmark their page, check back often, and give them any and all love that you possibly can, because they are the cornerstone of the Wheel of Time fandom in between seasons, because they come out with more information than everyone else combined. Now, this first actress we're going to talk about is Clare Dunn. She's an Irish actress that's been acting since 2014, and she let it slip during an interview last year. So during May of last year, she let it slip that she had a small role that she was shooting for season 3 of The Wheel of Time. Now, season 3 started filming in April of last year, and so far as we can tell, they do film chronologically. That's the way that it's been for most of the seasons, at least anyway so far. So WoTSeries.com is speculating that she may have a small role in the bonkers scene that Rafe is talking about. So if this is the Black Asha fleeing the tower, she could very well be playing an Aes Sedai. I'm not entirely sure what she fit into the 3rd season, but if it's a small role, it's probably part of something like that, where it's just kind of one and done. But let me know in the comments down below who you think you'd like to see her play in the next season. All right, next up we have Salomi Gunner. She's an Icelandic actress. She's been acting since 2013, and she's probably best known for roles in Pennyworth as well as Nightfall. She's also done some voiceover acting for video games, and she was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So who is she going to be playing? Well, she was seen in and around South Africa during the scenes filmed there, and the scenes filmed in South Africa generally were around either the Aiel Waste or Tenchiko. So WoTSeries.com speculating that she's either playing an Aes Sedai or perhaps an Aiel. I personally think that she would be probably a very, very good Maiden in the Spear. I'm not 100% sure which actress or which character this actress would play, but let me know in the comments down below who you think she could play in this next season. And she was there filming for a little bit, so it's possible that it's more than just a one and done. So we're not 100% sure how long she was on set, but it wasn't a very small role as far as I know. So it could possibly be one of the larger ones, but I'm not entirely sure who she's playing. Let me know in the comments down below who you think that she would be playing for season 3. All right, next up we have Claire Hope Ashty. She is a UK actress that has been acting since 2012, probably best known for Constellation and Children of Men. And she was spotted in some social media posts from some of the other cast members. So both Shorg Dishlu, who we know is playing Elida Sedai, and Salome, the actress I just talked about, she was in social media posts with both of those women. Now, WoTSeries.com does stress that it does not mean that her role is related to theirs, and that's entirely possible. So they could have met on set, filmed different things on different days, or met in and around just doing the production together, or they could have been friends from before. Either way, she is going to be joining the cast for season 3, and we're unsure of the role she's going to be playing. Although if I had to guess, especially with her being in posts with Shora, maybe she's an Aes Sedai. That's my guess anyway. All right, now finally we have Robert Strange. He is an actor, a creature actor, and a voiceover artist that's been acting since 2014. He's been in a ton of different stuff. So Penny Dreadful. He's also been in Star Wars Force Awakens. He was also in Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power as an orc. So he does many different things. Now, his CV states that he's doing an undisclosed Amazon project, or a secret Amazon project, which WoTSeries.com has uncovered, that is The Wheel of Time Season 3. However, they don't know which character he's going to be playing. And this is a little bit of a toughie because he could be playing just a regular character. He could be playing any of the creatures, either a Fade or a Trolloc or anyone else on set as well. So let me know in the comments down below who you think Robert will be playing for the next season. My money is on likely Drahakar. That's my guess anyway, because if he is a creature actor and he is comfortable with prosthetics, and we are getting some scenes from the waist, maybe we'll finally get a Drahakar, especially up close and personal with Avienda and Rand. That's my guess anyway. All right, so that's all the Wheel of Time news we have for you for this week. Like I said at the beginning of the video, stay tuned out of the channel later this week for something on JordanCon. So I did do a video on JordanCon, pieced together some interviews from some people that were there, and they talked to us about their experiences, why they love Wheel of Time, why they love JordanCon, and I have some new leaks videos coming out probably next week for you folks. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, there's more WoT Idle news coming as well, so stay tuned for that. WoT Idle is creeping up slowly on us. If you haven't already worked your entry, please do so. The link to the WoTidle.com, all the submission rules, the guidelines, and previous contestants' submissions are all there for you to look at to get some ideas and kind of brainstorm for your WoT Idle entry this year. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me here to the very end. Here's to many. All right, thank you so much for sticking with me here to the very end. Here's to many more.